Today is a very special day in all of our lives. We stand here filled with great pride at having reached this milestone, our graduation day. 4 years ago, we were the freshman class of Glenbrook North. Today we stand before you as the graduating class of 1990. Our hearts are not only filled with pride, but with gratitude as well. To quote the classic movie, It's a Wonderful Life, strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. During our high school years, our lives have been touched by many people. We are grateful to our teachers and administrators. They have provided us with a good education, and even more, they have made us realize that the quest for knowledge should be an ongoing part of our lives. Dear God, we are also grateful to our parents, our brothers and sisters, and all of our family for the special way in which they have touched our lives. Their support and guidance have helped us to achieve, and their love and interest have made these achievements fulfilling and rewarding. Finally, we are grateful for the friendships that have been a part of our high school years. We have shared happy and sad times, laughter and tears, successes and disappointments. We have all grown together, and the bonds that we have formed are irreplaceable. No man is a failure who has friends, and so in that light, each of us has achieved success. May we always be mindful of the fact that the lessons from our teachers, the love from our family, and the companionship of our friends have helped to mold the individuals standing before you today. We pray that we have given some pleasure and pride back to you in return for the invaluable lessons and affection you so willingly have given to us. And now, dear God, we look to the future with idealism and faith that we, the class of 1990, the class of a new generation, can make a difference. Bless this class with health and happiness, strength and perseverance. We are filled with hopes and dreams as we prepare to face the challenges that lie ahead. We pray that our dreams may become realities, and that our realities may make this world a better place in which to live. Amen. At this time, I would like to introduce Lauren Sternfield, who will be giving the graduate address.
Dr. McGrew, Dr. Duffy, school board members, administrators, faculty, family, and fellow classmates, I welcome you to the Class of 1990's commencement ceremony. It is my personal honor to speak to you on the afternoon of our graduation. The English novelist Joseph Conrad once stated that we live as we dream, alone. We stand here today as the Class of 1990, and for the past 4 years, that's exactly what we've been, an honored class, a respected group of people. From this day on, however, we will no longer stand as a class, but as separate identities, entirely on our own. What we do with ourselves, the differences we make, will be the result of acting on our dreams alone. We can affect this changing world, but only as individuals. As a race, mankind strives for a singular identity, more complex than any other being. As a nation, the United States reaches for the strength and power that come with individualism. As a society, we yearn for a unique and special educational system, one that towers over others. And as graduating seniors, we desire freedom, challenge, and the chance to become individuals and shape the drive of our wills to perfection. As we go our separate ways, it is our own identity that we must take with us as a guide. The changes taking place throughout the world have been truly unbelievable. With the triumphant demolition of the Berlin Wall and the beginning of Glasnost, a Russian policy promoting openness and criticism, the importance of the individual is becoming worldwide. Citizens that have known oppression all their lives are tasting freedom. Direct and fair elections, the rising significance of public opinion, the right to free speech, all of these changes have taken place while we were the class of 1990. But now, we face these changes as individuals, alone, without the support of this group, and we must face them with a change of our own. In order to make the differences we know we can make, we must live as we dream, alone. On a smaller scale and much closer to home, the growth and change that have taken place during high school have shown the importance of individualism at this point in our lives. High school, the best 4 years to develop an identity. The decisions we've made to study, to get involved, to be a part of a certain group of friends, have made us the people we are today. Each time a choice was made, a piece was added to the intricate puzzles of our identities. And finally, the frame, the border, has been completed. All the corner pieces in their places, all the straight edges flattened out. The challenges that lie ahead will form the center of the puzzle. The remaining pieces are in our hands. At times, life seems so complicated and unbearable, and at others, my fellow classmates and I thought we'd never have better days. It was our dreams of the future that helped us along, our hopes for independence and success. Throughout high school, we truly lived as we dreamed, but together, with friends, parents, and teachers. Tomorrow, we live as we dream, alone. Although it is our own individuality that will carry us far into the future, we cannot forget the people around us. The friendships developed in high school, the friendships waiting in the years to come, are what bring this individualism to its peak. It is the ability to share our strengths and improve our weaknesses that has made us both stronger individuals and a more powerful unit. Now that it's graduation day, we can look back on all the times we moaned and groaned. 1 more year, 1 more semester, 6 more weeks, 3 more Mondays, 8 more full days, 1 more hour. And now, here we are. Caps, gowns, smiles, and frowns. This is it, right? What we've all been waiting for. College, what a life. That's what we hear. The best of both worlds. Parents only a phone call away, but no more curfews. Sounds great, doesn't it? Freedom, independence, no rules. But now that it's graduation day, I have to admit, I'm really scared. Who is to say that the identities we have struggled to build and the confidence we can finally call our own are enough to get us by? What if the strength of our own individuality fails us? Where do we turn? The support is no longer as visible as it has been here at GVN. We must turn to ourselves. And that's the scariest part of all. Depending on ourselves, our courage, our knowledge, our hope to guide us through. We've had loving parents, dedicated teachers, responsible administrators, and the most caring friends to take us by the hand and lead us from freshman orientation to this very day. Next year will be different. We'll still have the love and support of others, but our hands will be free, and we will be left to lead ourselves. We will soar to the accomplishment of our dreams, dreams acted on alone. To the class of 1990, a new generation as they called us way back in '86, we have made our mark. We are a unique class full of knowledge, energy, and potential. It is the strength of each individual here that is combined to create the power of our class. We will not be forgotten or pushed aside because we, as individuals, have worked so hard for our separate identities that we, the class of 1990, have become a unit, strong and respected. In order to preserve the uniqueness of our class, we must begin to act alone, challenge ourselves, follow our own instincts, trust our own opinions and values. The spirit of our class will be carried with each of us as we venture away from home, from GBN, from the familiar and the comfortable next fall. A spirit, however, is all the class of 1990 will be. An ancient Babylonian text asks us, if I am not for myself, who is for me? If I care only for myself, what am I? If not now, when? As we take our first faltering steps into adulthood, we must never forget our dreams, and we must dare to stand alone. Good luck to my fellow graduating classmates, and thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard Ruff, and I'm honored today to present Glenbrook North with this year's senior class gift. As president of this senior class, I am proud to represent this group of people which has had such a tremendous impact on Glenbrook North. In summing up the attitude of this class, I would have to say we were happy but never satisfied. It is this attitude that has allowed us to seize the opportunities and faculties which Glenbrook North has to offer. As a result, we have left a mark on GBN that will not soon be forgotten. We will go down in history as a class that quite simply worked hard, and accomplished much. This past fall, our varsity soccer team placed second in the state. Never before has our class come together as it did then. Other outstanding athletic accomplishments, to name just a few, include second place in the state in wrestling and a first place in the state in hockey at the JV level. In the area of speech, both our debate and individual events teams will be representing us in the nationals this summer. Most of all, however, the class of 1990 will be remembered for the academic honor and prestige we have brought to Glenbrook North. The knowledge and potential of our class is reflected in the large number of Illinois state and national merit scholars, as well as by the outstanding universities and colleges which we will be attending this fall. Despite all of our accomplishments, we were never quite satisfied, but instead sought to reach yet higher levels of perfection. Although today many individuals will be recognized for their excellence, we must remember that the accomplishments of our class could never have been achieved without a unified effort by all. The class of 1990 would like to express its sincere gratitude to Glenbrook North. We will always remember this school, and we will always remain as proud as we are today to have spent such a crucial 4 years here. On behalf of the class, I would like to present Glenbrook North with conference banners for the new field house, which represent the schools we compete against. It is our hope that this gift will help to continue the competitive spirit at GBN, which has carried our class so far. At this time, I would like to introduce our principal, Dr. E.J. Duffy, who will make his last remarks to the class of 1990.
Before I begin my remarks, I would like to do something which has become a tradition over the past few years at Glenbrook North, and that is to take a few moments to give recognition to some very important people here today, and I'm speaking of the parents of the graduates. If we could have the house lights at this time, I would like to have the graduates, the parents of all of the graduates on this platform, please stand at this time. Before you sit down, don't sit down yet. Before you sit down now comes a little bit more part of the tradition. Sit down. I want everybody to stay standing if this is your last child to graduate from Glenbrook North. If you have more to graduate, you may sit down now. But if this is your last child to be graduating from Glenbrook North, please stay standing. Wait a minute. Wait. Now, those of you for whom this is the only child to be attending Glenbrook North, you may sit down. For those of you for whom this is the second child to be graduating from Glenbrook North, you may sit down. For those of you for whom this is the third child graduating from Glenbrook North. For those for whom this is the fourth child graduating from Glenbrook North. For those of you for whom this is the fifth child graduating from Glenbrook North, you may sit down. Oh, we still have more upstairs and down. We have more yet. For those for whom this is the sixth child to be graduating from Glenbrook North, you may sit down. For those for whom this is the seventh, the eighth, ninth, and 10th. 11. I like to take these few moments to give recognition to you parents who have sent us your students and who have given us your support over these many years. And for those for whom this is the last child to be graduating, we say so long. We've enjoyed having the experience of working with you for these many years. If you may turn off the house lights now. A few weeks ago, I was interviewed for the documentary about the GBN class of 1990, which was shown at the awards assembly last week. I think my interview lasted about 10 minutes, of which approximately 1/100th of a minute made it in the final product. I suspect that several others who are sitting on this platform today can relate to what I'm saying. I understand that Mr. Van Dyke had several SA board members scared to death about their final grade. That must account for his appearance in almost every other scene of that video. Each of the individuals who was interviewed for the documentary was asked the same set of questions. The first one was, what one word best describes the GBN class of 1990? Without hesitation, I responded, bright. There is no better word to describe this class. Let me give you a few facts to support that statement. The Glenbrook scholars named in each graduating class are the top 5% of the academic class rank. Since that rank is based on a 4-point scale and includes only the academic subjects and gives additional weighting for grades earned in honors and AP classes, it is possible for one to attain a grade point average above a 4-point. In this class, in order to be named a Glenbrook Scholar, that top 5%, one had to earn a grade point average of 4.6 or higher. That is phenomenal. Never before have the top 5% had to achieve such a high GPA. Next, this class boasts 124 Illinois State Scholars. That distinction is determined by ACT scores and class rank. I remember the year in which the number of Illinois State Scholars for GBN first broke the number 100. We were thrilled, and that class had 60% more graduates than this one. Also in this class of 1990, there are 19 National Merit semifinalists. That number is equal to the highest number GBN has ever had, and it is the highest percentage of any GBN class to attain that distinction. These data in themselves ought to validate the brightness of this class. However, the word bright is not limited to the academic arena. Brightness is shown everywhere throughout this class. Beyond that academic arena, there was the great talent pool which this class offered. That talent is very bright. Its brightness was exhibited in all kinds of activities. For example, there were many times this year I heard people exclaim about the outstanding musical talent in this class. It boasts some great vocalists and most talented instrumentalists, some of the most talented musicians in GBN's history. We have shared some of that special talent with you today. This class's talent was evident not only in music, but in every area of student activities. Our individual event speech team, led by members of this class, qualified 6 students for national competition in San Jose, California later this month. That is the largest number any Illinois school has qualified this year. Our debate team, both members of this class, also qualified for a trip to the National Forensic League Tournament. All of our competitive academic activities groups placed among the very top in their various competitions this year. That goes from our 4th place state mathletes to the performance of the state qualifying JETS, Junior Engineering Technological Society competitive team. And then there's the athletic talent. Sitting on this platform today are not only members of our state runner-up championship soccer team, our 4th place state golf team, and the individual state qualifiers in cross-country, track, tennis, gymnastics, and swimming, but also a state runner-up wrestling champion, and 2 individual national and international competitors, something no other class at GBN could ever boast. That brightness is not limited to academics, athletics, and activities. It also was visible in leadership. Another measure of brightness is creativity. The leadership of this class was among the most creative that I have seen. The Student Association Executive Board truly was one of the very best among many outstanding ones in GBN's history. It was a group of 5 young men who often took a lot of heat from their peers, made many sacrifices of their time, yet really produced spectacular events for their class and GBN. I will miss them, and so will Glenbrook North. By this time, many of you, both on the stage and in the audience, must be saying, oh, isn't that nice? He's standing up there talking about the Mary Phillipses and Peter Hans and Dan Sklars and Eric Pareses and Deborah Cohens and Gary Dinks and Steve Marianettis, and the elected student leaders sitting at either end of the front row of this platform today. What about me, Miss and Mr. Average in the class? Or what about my son, daughter, grandchild, who did so very well at GBN and of whom we are so very proud? He or she may not be as bright or as talented, but he or she did a great job, and in some cases even an outstanding one these past 4 years, even though that job is one for which no special recognition was or may ever be given. It is to you, you majority of the class of 1990, that my remarks today are directed. You may not know it, but you are very, very fortunate to be a member of the Glenbrook North class of 1990. It is because of that brightness and talent of which I have been speaking that you have achieved more during these past 4 years than anyone could have anticipated, and it's those achievements which I salute today. Have you ever heard one talk about rising to higher levels of expectations set by those at the top? An analogy, perhaps somewhat crude, would be a horse race. The faster the lead horse runs, the faster will be the pace of all of the others in the race. That is the story of the Glenbrook North class of 1990. All of you ran a little harder just to keep pace with the one in front of you. That 4.6 GPA cutoff for Glenbrook scholars pushed every one of you a couple of notches higher in your own GPA as you sought your place in the class rank. Those talented musicians caused you to practice a little bit harder as you vied for a solo in a concert. That victorious athlete inspired you to put forth just a little more effort in order to make you successful in your endeavor. In other words, because there was so much brightness and talent among you, the entire class achieved at a higher level than anyone would normally expect. That is not simply a supposition. I firmly believe it to be a fact. Yes, the one word which best describes this class is bright. Every one of you is bright in your own way. And your brightness shone because you took your particular ability and pushed it one rung higher on the ladder of achievement than would have been the case if you were in any other than this remarkable class of 1990 at GBN. A remarkable class you are. There is a very special reason why I say that. Your combined successes, your individual achievements, your numbers of uniquely talented individuals are so impressive. But what is far more impressive is your personality. Brightness and talent without personality are hollow. You have personality. As I said in my starring video role shown at the opening of the awards assembly, something you probably didn't hear because you were so busy laughing, I said, just as I get to know most of the seniors, it's time for them to graduate. In this year's class, I feel I have gotten to know extraordinarily well because so many of you have given me the opportunity to do so. I like what I've come to know. This GBN class of 1990 is filled with some truly wonderful people. And as I've said, it also is a class which boasts some of the brightest and most talented people. Individuals who have led the way which all of those wonderful people have followed. That's what makes you such a remarkable class. What more can I say? The message is there. You have it all. Each of you possesses very special personable qualities which give you your personality. Each of you has been fortunate to be a member of a class which possesses an unusually large number of bright and talented individuals. Those individuals set the pace which allowed everyone in the class to discover a level of achievement within yourselves which you might never have suspected that you possessed. I am convinced that with your personal qualities and your proved ability for achievement, you may to a person be one of GBN's most successful classes. Since I am not one known for speaking in hyperbole, that's your final word for the day. If you don't know what hyperbole means, you better find out if you plan to graduate from Glenbrook North. To repeat, since I'm not known for speaking in hyperbole, that statement that you may be one of GBN's most successful classes is truly a sincere one. There is only one problem with you, class of 1990, and it is a very big one for me. You are bright, you are personable, you truly are remarkable. That is the cause of the problem. You are such a very great class that your departure will be felt so much more. You will be missed. I know how I will miss you. Goodbye and good luck. I know that success will be yours. At this time, it gives me pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of Glenbrook High School District 225, who will certify that this class is qualified to receive their diploma from Glenbrook North High School. May I present Dr. Jean McGrew.
To the class of 1990, to board members Morris and McConaughey, parents and guests, faculty, friends. We've counted the credits. All of the students up on the stage have at least 24 credits, which is the requirement for graduation in the Glenbrook High Schools. As a matter of fact, we count these every year, and it's interesting to note that this class actually averages about 26 credits, 2 above the necessary numbers, which indicates that nearly everyone in this class took at least 1 or 2 extra classes along the way. And you took English, you took math, you took science, you took social studies. Many of you took foreign language, music, art, business, home economics, engine mechanics. You competed in athletics and in academic competition. You performed on the stage. We taught you a lot and you learned a lot. Now, algebra is important, although I suspect there are at least a few who are wondering why. Foreign language is particularly important in a rapidly changing world. English is important. Social studies is important. The other subjects that I mentioned are very important. However, there's a recent book that suggests that there are other things that may be more important than algebra or foreign language or English. And you first learned these not in high school, but in kindergarten. The name of that book is All I Really Need to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten, and the author is Robert Fulghum. It's one of the most popular books on college campuses, incidentally, and a bestseller. And if it were within my power, I would certainly give each one of you a copy of it as a graduation gift. But since that's not within my power, let me give you a summary. The author introduced his book in the following manner. All I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom is not necessarily in the halls of high school or at the top of the graduate school mountain, but in the sand piles in kindergarten. These are the things I learned. Number 1, play fair. Number 2, don't hit people. Number 3, put things back where you found them. That might be worth repeating. Put things back where you found them. As is the next one, number 4, clean up your own mess. Number 5, don't take things that aren't yours. Number 6, say you're sorry when you hurt someone. Number 7, wash your hands before you eat. Number 8, flush. Number 9, warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Number 10, live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. Number 11, take a nap every afternoon. Now, some of them know that one pretty well. Number 12, when you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Number 13, be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed in the styrofoam cup. The roots go down and the plants go up, and nobody really knows how or why, but we are like that. Number 14, goldfish and hamsters and white mice, and even the little seed in the styrofoam cup. They all die, and so do we. Number 15, and then remember the Dick and Jane books, and the very first word you learned, the biggest word of all, was look. I think the author has given us some sound advice. And when we taught you algebra, I hope we also taught you to say you're sorry when you hurt someone. When we taught you biology, I hope we taught you also that the roots go up, and the roots go down, and the plants go up. And we don't know why. Foreign language, I hope we taught you some foreign language, but I also hope we taught you not to hit people, especially if they speak a different language or look a bit different. I hope we taught you to live a balanced life, learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. And finally, I hope we taught you when you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. If we've achieved that, then I think we've achieved some successes in your 4 years in high school. Mr. Morris, Mrs. McConaughey, I certify these students as eligible for graduation, and each should receive a diploma. And to the class of 1990, when you receive that diploma, remember, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Everything else you've learned is just a little extra. Thank you.
The first half of the class's diplomas will be presented to them by Board of Education member Mrs. Marilyn McConaughey. The second half of the graduates' diplomas will be presented to them by Board of Education President Mr. Ron Morris. In addition to receiving diplomas, there are 4 separate awards that are presented at this time to the graduates, and may I explain the awards. The first are the Glenbrook Scholars. I already explained about the grade point average for that. Approximately 20 years ago, our Board of Education made the determination that the Glenbrook High Schools would not name a valedictorian or a salutatorian because the students at the top of the class were so close to one another in grade point average. Therefore, it was determined that they would recognize academically in each graduating class of the Glenbrook High Schools the top 5% and name them as the Glenbrook Scholars. They receive a trophy today. Secondly, a few weeks ago, we had the nominations for the Outstanding Boy and Girl finalists from the class. These are nominated by the faculty of the school. In each category, there were 6 boys and 6 girls. The Outstanding Boy and Girl were named last week at the awards assembly. They, along with all the finalists, will receive a plaque today. The third thing is the Glenbrook Academy of International Studies, the 4-year, very rigorous program in which some of our academically gifted students have been involved for the last 4 years. These students receive a special plaque showing their completion of this program in the Glenbrook Academy of International Studies. And finally, the Advanced Honors Research Program. This is an independent academic program that students take on their own time, where they engage in a 2-year period through their junior and senior year in an individual project. These students also will receive a plaque. At this time, Ms. McConaughey will come forward, and Mr. Walter will be reading the names. I would like to say one other thing. Despite the fact that we are presenting individual awards, we implore you, no individual recognition. We pride ourselves in the fact that we don't give individual recognition at graduation. We congratulate all the graduates after all their names have been called and they've all received their diplomas. So please, no individual recognition when any one graduate walks across the platform. Thank you very much.
Timothy O'Connell, Outstanding Boy. Theodore Peter Kappas, Outstanding Boy Finalist. Barclay Lawrence Garman. Ian Seth Crasky. David John Stubbings. Meredith Lynn Barber, Joanna Beth Franklin, Danielle Elizabeth Langer, Amy Lynn Tyner, Ian Niles Rothenberg, George Caparos, Daniel Aaron Scalar, Outstanding Boy Finalist, Brian Lee Green, Stephen Lewis Gotkin, Judd M. Fisher, Amy Sue Whites, Constantina J. Maniatis, Lauren Reynolds Clay, Glenbrook Scholar, Nikki Lynn Simon, Andrea Lynn Bloomberg, Lauren Freed Sternfield, Outstanding Girl Finalist, Amy Beth Rabinowitz, Outstanding Girl Finalist, Glenbrook Scholar, Eric Matthew Paris, Alan Michael Wise, Glenbrook Scholar, Bradford McMurray Walker, Bridget Kathleen McMahon, Ronald J. Lubelchuk, Advanced Honors Research, Michael J. Helfand, Bradley Joel Friedman, Christos Spiros Gianulius, Richard Charles Ruff, Catherine Ann Hartung, Laurie Rebecca Braun, Meredith Ann Templeton, Patricia Lynn Monroe, Elizabeth Mary Dempsey, Lori Allison Schwartz, Glenbrook Scholar, Jennifer Paula Janet Cataletta, Cheryl Lynn Templer, Kimberly Ann Adams, Outstanding Girl Finalist, Nicholas Scott Addis, Gary Lauren Alkerson, Amy Beth Altschuler, Susan Beth Amir, Cherry Faith Ander, Heidi Christine Anderson, Mark Douglas Andrews, John Gregory Annetsberger, Despina Anton, Erica Hope Applebaum, Michael Craig Applebaum, Pamela Sue Aspengren, Tracy Ann Shapiro, Jennifer Ann Jocelyn, Karen Anna Carpenter, Deborah N. Ebrun, Sarah Elizabeth Veach, Rebecca Marie McGrew, Michelle Hoffman, Jennifer Lee Herman, Carolyn Ruth Barman, Jennifer J. Baker, Glenbrook Scholar, Stephen A. Berry, Jolynn Elise Beckman, Marianne Bukowski, David J. Bendo, Catherine Ann Baranek, Amy Beth Berg, Cheryl Eileen Berman, Brennan Arthur Vire, Leah Michelle Black, Mindy Joelle Blank, Allison K. Blaschek, Shauna Lynn Blue, Dawn Adele Bobart, Christopher Francis Bober, Matthew Ryan Bohm, Monique Marie Borland, Jennifer Beth Bornstein, Sarah F. Brady, Eric Shane Brandstrom, Henry Allison Brill III, Julie Karen Broderick, Amy Lynn Brunswick, Amy Elizabeth Brown, Stephanie Heather Brown, Sherry Lynn Bryan, Bao Q. Bui, David H. Burke, Lisa Beth Berlin, Catherine Buck, Caesar Joseph Cabalfin, Gregory Michael Cameron, Tracy June Cameron, Adam Seth Chalmers, Ellen W. Chad, John Thomas Cheney, Jason Peter Charles, Stephanie Lee Chowner, Justin C. Chen, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies, Michael Ming Hung Chen, Jason Ruth Sherman, Tiffany Yiping Chu, Brent Chu, Jennifer Yu Kless, Adam Scott Cohen, Daniel William Cohen, Deborah Suzanne Cohen, Advanced Honors Research, Janice R. Cohen, J. Brian Cohen, Julie Rachel Cohen, Rhonda Lee Coleman, Derek Coyle, Janine Patricia Coyle, Alan Cern, Michael Christopher Kudzik, Benjamin Marcel Sukier, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies, Mario Culata, Jean A. Cusick, Tashiana Dominica Saplicki, John Vernon Dalkey, Sean Michael Danis, Michael Wayne Daniel, Jason Winger Darnall, Brian K. Daster, Neil Logan Davis, Benjamin C. DeGraff, Melanie S. Del Mundo, Gary Michael Dink, James E. Deppes, Elizabeth Ann Dickler, Michael Brian Dillman, Anna Mary DePinto, Bradley Christian Donahoe, Shannon Marie Donahoe, Allison Beth Drexler, Jody Lynn Dryman, Kimberly Diane Dupuy, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies, Jillian Pamela Dworsky, Glenbrook Scholar, Amy Marie Eberline, Jeffrey Scott Elkin, Lynette Ann Engdahl, Jane Marie Farrell, Leah Beth Feinberg, Jason Eric Field, Rachel Beth Finfer, Segalik Finkelstein, Joel Allen Flank, Tracy Lynn Forbes, Paul Clifford Freitas, Anne Marie Frederick, Jonathan Charles Roger, Leslie Ann Gale, Alan Louis Ganender, Lisa Ellen Gianorio, Gil B. Gabori, Jill Elaine Ginger, Daniel Robert Glassenberg. Marnie Gail Goldberg. Benjamin Lewis Goldman. John Andrew Goldman. Cynthia Paulette Goldstein. Jason Ross Goodman. Jonathan Erie Gordon. Christy Lynn Gord. Andrew M. A. Gould. Tanya L. Grant. Jason Daniel Greenberg. Randy Lynn Greenblatt. Cynthia Ann Grimaldo. Morton Elmos Gulev. Monica Ann Hacker. Peter S. Hahn, Outstanding Boy Finalist, Glenbrook Scholar, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies. Eric DeWitt Halverson. Amber Claire Hamilton. John Charles Hamill. Stephen S. Hahn. Bradley J. Handler. Jody Lynn Hansen. Eric Timothy Haugen. John Bess Herhut. Christine Michelle Hermany. Lisa B. Hermany. Lisa Eileen Hild. Margaret Heather Hill. Tracy Elizabeth Hirsch. David A. Hirshheimer. Christy Ann Hubble. Ian Brent Hoffenberg. Ellen Jill Hoffman. Michael W. Hollinger. Michelle Beth Horn. Lisa Ann Hodeko. Lisa Lynn Howard. Simon Shue. Jeffrey Daniel Hughes. Brad Olmsted Hunter. Jenny W. Hurd. Rachel Ann Hyman. Rosa J. Hyun. Masami Ishikawa. Adrian Irene Isel. Dana Brooke Jacobs. Tracy Paige Jacobs. Julie Andrea Jacobson. Melissa Beth Jacobson. Blair Susan Jaffe. Keith Daniel Janicki. Josephina Johnson. Catherine Lynn Johnson. Brian K. Jund. Matthew Blake Karchmer. Michael A. Karras. Laurie A. Karn. Harlan J. Karp. Lisa Ann Kelly. Bradley D. Kennedy. Kevin Sean Kennedy. Gabrielle Nicole Kessler. Cyrus Ahmad Kiani. Brian Young Kim. Chang Yap Kim. Christine Youngun Kim, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies. David K. Kim, Glenbrook Scholar. Jeffrey Jonghyun Kim, Glenbrook Scholar. Shin Kazawa. Adam Nathan Klein, Glenbrook Scholar. Sarah Elby Knight. Heidi Krista Keniger. Melanie Deborah Koss. Laura Ann Craze. Daniel P. Kravitz. Daniel Todd Kravitz. Suzanne Cronenberg. Diana Eva Krizik. Wendy Guohang, Glenbrook Scholar, Advanced Honors Research. Philip John Krajewski. Brian Kwok. Suzanne Kwok. Joshua Adam Laff. Sean Lewis Lager, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies. Shoshana Lake. James Michael Lancheros. Stephen James Larson. Scott Ronald Larson. Kimberly Doris Lassich. Eileen Danielle Laval. Marcus David Lawler. Henry Chung Lee, Glenbrook Scholar. Howard S. Lee. Jean Young Lee. Jenny T. Lee. Rihanna H. Lee. Erica Monique Lefton. Mark Jason Levinson. Rosa Yaling Lee. Holly K. Lieberman. Melanie Lifschultz. Matthew H. Linder. Edward William Lippman, Glenbrook Scholar. Daniel G. Lippert. Kenra Page Lockhart. Matthew Evan Lucarelli. Timothy Michael Lynch, Glenbrook Scholar. Thomas Norman McMillan. Tracy Ann Malik. Catherine Susan Maloney, Outstanding Girl Finalist. Carrie Ann Manus. Elise Claire Manoff. Annette Marie Mansilla. Scott J. Margolis. Stephen Edward Marianetti. Mara Merrick. Paul Joseph Mornell. Catherine Blaine Mason. Andrew C. Marienzo. Quentin Mattern. James Donald McDaniel, Jr. Sherry Lynn Mendelson. Aaron Michael Mielbergel. John Jules Miles. Andrew Robert Miller. Gregory Carl Mitsakopoulos. Joshua Thomas Mount. Timothy John Muller. David Clayton Nafsker. Jason Richard Nishatka. Peter Manos Massos. Ronald Jeffrey Neer. Brett R. Nelson, Glenbrook Scholar. Tamar Michelle Ann Newman. Tracy Joel Newman. Lisa Marie Nichols. Christopher Gary Nielsen. Amari E. Nora. Cynthia Sue Norris. Jonathan S. Noby, Outstanding Boy Finalist. David Scott Nussbaum. Jennifer Lynn O'Connell. Regina Odisha. Richard P. Olson. Lisa A. Opper. Wendy Shauna Orkin. Stephanie Joy O'Sheff. Lenny Richard Ostad. Michael T. Oya. Anthony David Pollock. Dana Sarah Partos, Glenbrook Scholar. Molly Karen Passion. Charles Daniel Peacock V. Stephen J. Perlman. Kirsten Ann Pescatore. Carrie Robin Pestine. Robin Dawn Pacheni. Mary Phillip, Outstanding Girl, Glenbrook Scholar, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies. Richard Allen Pite. Alan Rod Pernizar. Gal Pazetsky. Elizabeth Jane Pither. Buffy Lynn Pittler. Victoria Lynn Pollock. Jason Thomas Pomponi. Paul Jason Popovich. Peter William Poulos. Jeffrey Stephen D. Powell. Jeffrey Scott Powers. Leslie Claire Puccinelli, Outstanding Girl Finalist. Robert Paul Race. Craig Allen Radis. Mark David Radis. Emily Beth Raven. Jason Gabriel Raymond. Christian Rasmilovich. Deborah Beth Rintels. Alex Sue Roll, Glenbrook Scholar. Joel David Robbins. Raymond Anthony Robles. Melissa Rose Roche. Mark Eric Rail. David P. Rogie. Bridget Ann Ronan. Ryan A. Rosen. Kevin Douglas Rosenberg. Jessica Beth Rosengard. Francine Beth Rosenthal. Eric E. Rudiak, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies. James N. Runfeld. Sarah Elena Saavedro. Jody Beth Solomon. Glenn Daniel Sanders, Advanced Honors Research. Eric David Sandstrom. Christina Meade Sargent. Sasha Savick. Catherine Shelley. Michael John Schlenhart. Todd Michael Schlesinger. James Lewis Schmidt. Regina Schmidt, Glenbrook Scholar. Ryan Williams Schneeberger. Scott R. Schultz. Glenn R. Schwal. Ben A. Schwartz. Nicole Allison Seifert. Melissa Anna Esther Severn. Greg Stephen Schamberg. Risa Karen Shapiro, Glenbrook Scholar, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies. Julie Ellen Schenfeld. Jonathan Philip Sherrill. Meredith Lynn Siegel. Brian Peter Slutsky. Brian Adam Smith. Gordon Pat Snook. Brian Michael Soldner. Michael John Sommerfeld. Shadi Tova Sumek. Jeremy Michael Sorkin. Stephanie Ann Spar. Philip Anthony Spadafora. Bennett C. Spencer. Stacy Jill Spire. Mark C. St. Clair. Jeffrey Peter Stott. Matthew Stott. Panayotis Nikolios Stamatis. Catherine Louise Darzinski. Kristen Jean Sullivan. Randall Algott Swanson. William Patrick Swift. Jay Schick Sin. Peter Romans Panda. Samuel Gilbert Tatum. Karen Louise Templeton. Gregory Allen Thompson. Anthony Joseph Trotzo. Adam R. Tucker. Rajiv Kanak Udani, Outstanding Boy Finalist, Advanced Honors Research. Tejal Rohit Bakaria, Advanced Honors Research. Richard Ian Verne. Kristen Marie Vignoki. Melissa Ruth Wagner. Terestine Y. Wang. Adam Franklin Weeks. Kenneth Mark Weinberg, Glenbrook Scholar. Daniel M. Weiner. Amy Lynn Weiss. Stacy Lee Weizenfeld. Daniel Scott Wellner. Andrew Thomas Wink. Carla Sue Werner. Jenny Lynn Wilson. Joel Andrew Wachner. Lisa Nicole Wolf. Bryna Lynn Wolfson. Eric Mark Wolfson. Valerie M. Yonan. David S. Yoon, Glenbrook Scholar, Glenbrook Academy of International Studies. Ryuji Yoshitomi. Karen Lynn Youngberg. Mark M. Zaflavsky. Kathleen Marie Zeitz. Mark Thomas Zygmunt. Robin Benedetti.
At this time, we just have a few special announcements to conclude the ceremony. First of all, we ask that everybody, including those people in the balcony, remain in their seats until the last graduate has left the auditorium. Also, assuming the weather is still decent outside, and Mr. Campobasso says it is, we ask that you meet your graduate outside. When you wait in the lobby, it just jams up and then they can't get out from graduation. So we ask that you go outside, out to the mall area out here, the courtyard just to the north of the auditorium, where the graduates will be, and you can find the graduates there, and we have instructed them accordingly also. We will conclude the ceremony with the singing of the alma mater. We ask that you stand for the alma mater for just a moment, but then please be seated afterwards when the class exits from the auditorium. At this time, I wish my final congratulations and farewell to the class of 1990 and ask that you stand for the singing of your alma mater.